devonkoi pond on, what can you say, beautiful glorious day again. We've been having some cracking blooming weather down here. Well, what's been happening? It's all been very quiet. Pond's been ticking around nicely. Haven't had to do much other than a few water changes. Fish are absolutely gulping the food down. I'm getting through about 500 grams a day, so 10 kilo bag bucket lasting about 20 days. They've been eating this much now for at least the last month. They're really wumping it down, and this is the time of year. This time of year, the water temp's up 23, 22, 20 degrees. They'll eat. Just give them all they can eat. This is when they pack the weight on. If you don't eat through the winter, you bulk them up this time of the year, and that gets them through the winter. But they're really growing the fish down here. I've got 17 fish in the pond. The majority of them are up around 50 cm like. There's 3 that are over 60, and they'll whoop some food down. It's just incredible what they'll eat. I've been feeding wheat germ and garlic. I'm still doing that. Also got a stable that I'm feeding them NT Labs, and they're loving it. One of the temperature gauges is a bit faulty on the pond. The water temp one is reading low. I've realised that by swapping the 2 over. The air temp, water temp one faulty. I've got to have a look at that. Plants are doing absolutely excellent. Baby's tears are just exploded. Tests all showing really good, so everything's tickety-boo. I'll give you a quick look over it in a minute. They're never in a rush to eat it down here. People who throw it in and then take it out 5 minutes later. This will just stay there until they've eaten it all. Early in the morning down here, just after 7. They've just had a cupful, and they'll get 4 cupfuls through the day. I manually feed them, me and the better half when I'm at work. But oh, look at that sunshine. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'm only showing a water temperature here of 16, 17 degrees, and I know it's up 22, 23 degrees the water temp. I'm in the sun all day long down here at the pond. I've not been struggling with the UV. I've had the UV on like for 1 day, or during the daylight hours, 1 day a week for the last month. I'll just flick it on, but no problem with the any greening of the water. So full sun, but I do not need to run the UV full time. So that's 55 watts saved. Alright, so a quick look in the veg. The lilies are absolutely nuts. Right, as you can see in here, lilies have exploded. There is a flower or 2 in amongst them. There's some very pretty pink rosy flowers and some white ones. The monster, that one's really going, and as to the baby's tears, well, just look at the way this thing has exploded. I'm running the pumps during the day. I speed them up, slow them down overnight. During the day the electric's free, obviously on the solar, so I run the pumps full bore during the day and use more electric. I think the total running through they're at about 90% bottom drain and skimmer at the moment. Of course the skimmer basket's pushed down while I'm feeding, otherwise they all end up down there. But this is just absolutely incredible. So this is fed from one pod, and the rest of the filter system's fed from the other pod via the bottom drain and the skimmer. I'll go around the other side of the veg, give you a quick glimpse around there a minute. see I pick the dead leaves off from here intermittently, but this thing just grows and grows. Really got to get down here and do some painting. That's where I've been banging the messy stick off after stirring it around. Still a bit untidy in here. Getting and tidy all this up. The upflow's been working brilliantly. Vortex enhancer doing its job. Trick is to get all the solids out as quick as possible, so I've been dropping the vortex twice a week, getting the solids out. Boil on this one once a week, and the easy pods now with all this feeding I've actually been doing once a week as well. Ooh. This is my feed here, back in through after it's been through all the filter system. Moss on top of my pot here, running through 2 of these on its way back. Water goes down through this chamber and up through one the same, but these plants are stood on there. As you can see, they're only just in the water, absolutely blown their baskets to bits. But I pluck the dead leaves off here, go around once every week or two and pull a few of the dead leaves off. Green moss. And the baby's tears here. I've got hose in the gutter, but it's running that fast at the moment. It fills the gutter up and goes over the top as well. All that's going down through the baby's tears, which are looking a lot greener than they were. So that's good. Just pull the dead leaves off and chuck them in a pile down on the lawn. So yeah, I've got to have a dive in here. A bit more pulling around on that. Definitely need a repaint. Job for the holidays in a bit. It's one of my big girls. Well over 60 cm this one. Got 3 chags in here about this size. The 2 twins here, and I've got a light coloured one as well, which is over there. 17 fish in total, 16 koi, and 1 odd one. Not a koi. Right. And there's the not a koi down there. It's a blue wharf. That one's about 40 cm at least as well, getting on for 45. It's actually a big fish. I had 7 of those originally, and down to my last one. Bit of khaki on the bottom of the pond this morning, but that'll soon disappear. Right, let's pop inside and I'll have a quick talk on the solar, because I have done more on that. Whew. Mess in here as per normal. Okay, shut this extra fan off a minute. It's noisy. Right, I'm just using that fan at the moment to cool this 1000 watt grid tie inverter at the back here. I need to make something like this that's on these 2, just to keep them cool, because they do pop quite easily, and you keep them cool and they don't pop. Right, so the solar, absolutely incredible. We're just coming up on another 24 days. I'll stick it up here somewhere, what we've actually made between May 24th and June 24th, It's a couple of days before here at the moment, so when it pops up, this video will be going out about a week after, so I'll get a chance to stick it up here what I have actually made this month. But it's going to be over 50 quid, which is a great surprise, because last year I only made around the £30 mark for May, June. So I made 50, but I was having problems. I had a blown diode on one of the solar banks, which was a bit upsetting. So I was down, and it took me a while to find it and locate the problem. So it was nearly the end of the summer before I got the systems up and running okay. Got a new clock here. This one's actually on the new bank of solar panels, which are on the 1000-watt inverter here. There's actually 4 250-watt panels on that one. Ignore the time there, it's actually an hour later. It's 7:47, and we're making 321 watts, 21 watts off that 1000-watt setup that I've got there now. I've actually got 3 banks of solar panels running. I've got the 2 out here in the workshop, which are 480 a piece, which is this one and this one. I've got 1 in the house, which is another 480, and then this 1000 watt one here. So I've got nearly 2.5 kilowatt here. Right, but out here in the workshop, here's the 2 banks of 480s. I've got 200 watts coming in on one, 191 coming in on the other. So that's off of 480 watts worth of panels. And off of the new 1000-watt bank, that one's actually making 337 at the moment, and we can see what it peaks out at. Function, here we go, we'll give the maximum that it's made. That's the lowest that it's made. The most that the new 1000-watt bank has chucked out, peak of the day, 718 watts. Okay, so pretty happy at that. Now the 480s, it's surprising what they throw out. That's the low, right? That's a 480 watt bank. It's actually 525 it's put out at its peak. So they're underrated for what they are. The smaller banks actually throw out more than what the panel states. This one here, 532 watts that one's put out. So there are only 120 watt panels on there, and they're putting out a lot more than what they're supposed to. So that's handsome. On average, on a good day here, I'll make £1 out of each one of these. Sunny day, I'll make £1 out of each one of these, or save £1. And the 1000-watt one, I'll get £1.50 out of that on a really good day. So £3.50 is the saving on a good day. That'll charge me batteries up, run the pond overnight, knock £3.50 off what I would have spent on the electric on a good sunny day. Yeah, incidentally, the 1000-watt ones I've got on the roof at the moment, which was 4 panels, that's actually cost me 400 quid. The panels were £75 each, second hand. You can find them all over eBay, second hand solar field panels, you know, one straight from a solar generation station. They swap them out after 4 or 5 years, and I mean, they're fine. I'm not going to knock it. You lose some coming down through the micro inverters, but if I go on the bottom clock here, when it says I think it's WP, that's the maximum that they've produced at the peak of the day. So where are we? Alright, WP, that's the peak watts that they've put out. It was actually put out 800, was it 800 or 700? Hang on, wait for it again. 834 watts. So at the peak of the day, they were putting out 834 watts, and they're down flat on a panel. I've got my charging set at inverter set up properly again back on the pond, so it's actually charging off the solar. Fantastic. Right, let's get you back outside again a minute. Before we do, we've got plenty of plastic here. So I left to the bigger sheets, but I've got all this for the laser cutter, and believe you me, this acrylic costs money. I've got lots of acrylic here for the laser cutter for anybody that's wanting anything personal in the laser cut department, channel plaques and whatever. Soon have plenty of time when I'm on holiday to do it, but do like doing some personal stuff. So your workshop's a mess. It's the trouble with working in it, you make a mess of it. Right. Oh, hang on, before I go, let's put that fan back on. I say it's noisy, but I can actually afford to run that one during the day. I'm making more than what I'm using in these, well, it says 25 watts on the fan. It actually uses about 32 watts on high speed like that, but it pays to keep these temperatures down. That one's already warmed up considerably just in that time, but he is knocking out nearly 300 watts, so I'm not surprised. Right. Oh, I'll give you a quick look at the new panels. They're just on top of the workshop roof here. Again, I've got 2 here and 2 up on the utility roof. They're a fair size at 1.6 meters by about 900. The water is absolutely spanking. Couldn't be happier with it. Come down in the mornings, there's always a bit of crap on the bottom because they seem to have been slow overnight, the fish, but once they start moving round it stirs everything up and it's off down the bottom drain. Going to be a cracking day, I think. And as I said, that's all fine. This is all fine. Yeah, everything's onky donkey. And during the days I do wind the flow up, but I can turn my pond over very slow if I want, or very fast. Doesn't seem to make a great deal of difference to the water quality, but I've got the power during the day, so might as well speed it up. There's my blue orf. That's the last one I've got out of about 7, and they were like 3 inches long when I had them, and it's no small fish. Okay, so there we go. That's that little look. Been a bit quiet down here at the end of the month. Been doing some laser cutting, stuff selling well on eBay. If you're after some easy pod caps or some gates for your Nexus or something like that, I've got them in stock. They're on eBay. Likewise with the plaques, there's a few on there. If anybody wants anything in particular that's dropped out of stock, just let me know, because obviously I don't want to stock too much, but it's always nice to have a display of what you've got. The little plaque's been selling really well. If you want a personalised plaque, just contact me through email that is underneath here, or on my channel page, or catch me on Facebook. Happy to have a look at a personal plaque for you. Right, so from down here, sunny June, under a bit of a mackerel sky, but sunny June. Hopefully the rest of the summer stays the same. Get plenty of sun, plenty of food in the fish, plenty of free electric. Right, I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.